Time now for sid-six-zero. It's where I get 60 seconds to just talk with my mouth. Thank you. When you were the first overall pick in a draft, it usually means a few things. One, the team that drafted you are really bad and desperate. Two, you're looked at as a savior. Three, anything less than being a savior will be viewed as a huge disappointment. These are sporting universal truths. And few athletes know what that pressure feels like. Thornhill, Ontario native Andrew Wiggins does. Taken first overall by Cleveland, then traded to Minnesota on draft night in 2014. He won Rookie of the Year, but that was basically it. Minnesota quit on Wiggins and traded him to Golden State in 2020. Ironically, it's the Warriors who now view him as their savior in this year's NBA Finals. Wiggins scored 26 points the other night, giving Golden State a 3-2 series lead capped by this massive dunk. Game 6 goes tomorrow evening live on Sportsnet. Golden State can wrap up yet another NBA title. For years, the hype train on Wiggins suggested he was a big game player. It's taken 8 years, but he's here. Eric Smith, the Sportsnet 590, the fan who has followed Andrew's entire career from a kid in Thornhill to a pro. Eric, good morning. Great to see you. Considering his history in this country and how much you love the game, what goes through your mind while you watch him mature like this?
I think, honestly, Sid, it's just a case of being happy for a young man, still a relatively young man, in spite of the fact that he's been in the league for, as you mentioned, almost 10 years. I think it's just a culmination of all the work that he's put in. I think that he's been unfairly labeled by some, not by all, but by some over the course of his career for whether he did or didn't do enough for Minnesota. Did he actually have the backing of ownership, of coaching there? This is an organization in Minnesota that up until maybe this year has struggled mightily for a heck of a long time, only making one postseason over the course of the last almost 10 plus years. It's been an organization going back to the Kevin Garnett years that has struggled to find consistency and regularity. So for him to finally have this home alongside superior talent and to be a cog, a piece of an overall picture, and not necessarily having to be the Batman. It's okay to be Robin sometimes. I think it's a pleasure to see. And it's a guy, I think, as well, that some people stigmatized early in his career for maybe not repping the country enough or not doing enough for Canada, which I think at times was bogus. And we've seen him suit up for the Canadian team over the last couple of Olympic qualifiers and things like that. So I think he's more matured as a player, let alone as a person, as time's gone on. And it's nice to see him now knocking on the door of his first championship.
And not just knocking on the door, again, Steph Curry did not hit a three-pointer in that game the other night. First time in over 230 straight games that's happened. So you talk about a big performance when Golden State really needed it. The Thornhill young man provided it. We got about 30 seconds here. Again, Game 6 is tomorrow night in Boston. I'm always curious how officiating goes in games like this, with a Game 7 on a Sunday night potentially there for the NBA. Does this end tomorrow night, or are we going to Game 7?
Well, you sound like a conspiracy theorist, but there's evidence to your conspiracies, I suppose, over the time. I went with Golden State in 6 before the series started, so I'm sticking with that. I think it's going to be extremely difficult, obviously, to end it on the road. But of course, as Raptor fans, we remember we're just a day or so removed from the championship memories of 3 years ago when the Raptors did it on the road. So I think Golden State can do it. And I'll tell you, Sid, just quickly to wrap up Andrew Wiggins, if he plays at the level that he did in not just Game 5, but in Game 4 as well, where he was a monster in terms of the rebounding, he's really putting some heat on Steph Curry for Finals MVP as well. So I think Golden State's shown that they can close this thing out.
I find voting for Finals MVP in any sport usually kind of remembers the last thing you did. And you're right, if Andrew has another big one tomorrow night, wouldn't be the craziest thing I've ever seen. Eric Smith, Sportsnet 590, the fan. Again, Game 6 of the NBA Finals tomorrow on Sportsnet. Enjoy it, Eric. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Anytime. Thanks.